no compromise. I'm not making love with you, and you know that I am fronted. Don't you think it's funny how things go sometimes, baby? I don't want no more of this. How often?
Yes, people.
Baby, I love you.
This tune is getting so much love. We're gonna play it again because it's getting so much fire. It's called Testify, featuring Capleton. It's by the one and only Isla Blender. So make sure you keep it locked in. We're getting ready to speak to her in just a few seconds. Big shout out to everybody tuning in, showing so much love. And of course, without further ado, please do welcome the one and only sister Isla Blender. How you doing, sis?
Blessings. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime.
Kat.
Anytime.
And the listeners tuning in. Thank you for listening.
Blessings. So you know what? Kick it off by introducing who is Isla Blender.
So Isla Blender is the daughter of the legendary or iconic, like I'd like to tell people, Everton Blender.
For real.
Yeah, so that's where I'm coming from. You know, musical lineage. Been singing since I was 11 years old. Record my first single on my dad's Blendem label called Bad Boy. And from there on out, I've been in and out, like taking a break, doing music, coming back, doing music, coming back. But, you know, doing my best, and I'm here to stay this time, you know. Just released my latest single. I'm also promoting that one as well, called I Wish, and I'm here. So, you know, just want everyone to recognize me, know that I am the daughter of Everton Blender, representing him the best way I know how to, while staying true to who I am, you know, being my unique individual and making my mark as well in music.
Definitely, you're definitely doing that, sis, because I just played a tune called Testify featuring Capleton, and the amount of fire I was getting on my WhatsApp, people were loving it. So you know what? You've got to tell us about that tune since they're in love with it so much.
So that song came about. I write music about my own personal journey, everything that I've gone through, everything that I've seen and endure, you know, being around. And that's where my music stems from, telling my own truth, as it's my therapy as well, you know. So Testify came from my first ever relationship. And that's and that's just what sums it up. And my dad was like, hey, you know, we could spice it up a bit and add Capleton. At first they wanted Beanie Man to go on it, and he sang, but he didn't hear my part. He never heard my part. He just heard the rhythm and hear what it's going to be. And when he sang his part, it was a nice song, but it was a bit too graphic for a child my age and what I represent.
Okay.
And so, you know, and Capleton, it was more milder, and, you know, and it gel organically with everything. And that's how it came along. You know, everything comes along, and it is, and that's it. Testify, you know, for everyone going through something, you know your worth and know what you stand for.
Yeah. You know what? That's what I feel with your tunes. That's what I feel with your tunes. I feel like you don't just make music for the sake of it. Each song means something to you. And you know...
Yes, it means something.
I've got to ask you about Bad Boy. I know it's your first song, but what did you learn about that first song?
Yeah, in the garrison, you know, I wouldn't say it's too much garrison, suburban, but you know people from the garrison. You watch the news on a daily basis, and you hear stories, or you see stuff, or, you know, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who's gone through something, you know, lose someone, you know, the whole run-ins in Jamaica and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's where that song really stemmed from. I think I was 12 when I wrote that one, 12, somewhere 11, 12 there. You know, sitting down and hearing everybody. And my brother was actually, my older brother was actually grooming his artist to be on the rhythm when it came out. So nobody knew I wanted to sing.
Yeah.
And he's been, listen, it's been 2 months, you know, and you got the rhythm and nothing with it. And I'm just there because I like to write poems and ode on a regular basis, you know. Yeah. And he's just there. And I got melody like bam, 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 like, and he said, hey, what you say? Come here. And he says, say that what you say again a while ago. And I did it again. And he said, Lord God, come. Yeah, God is still there. You said this right? Yes. And that's where it stemmed from, just hearing stories again and seeing certain things or witnessing certain things,
Yeah.
And that's how Bad Boy came about, Maypen and, Clarendon, you said Maypen and a Playpen and all of these things, like De La Vega City.
Yeah.
They have its stigma on the name and certain things that you see are, so yeah.
Wow.
With the message still stands predominantly, because that's what I'm here for. I want to be the voice, not just for entertaining, but to be that voice where somebody could hear something that I say, and can relate to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And say, okay, then I've been there. I've gone through this,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here for.
Definitely. You're doing that, sis. Definitely.
Thank you.
And you mentioned earlier your dad's Everton Blender. What was it like to tour with him? Because I know you did lots of different tours with him, but what was that like?
It was a blessing, or still is a blessing, because I'm still getting, like, I'm here with you today, on your platform, trying to reach more people, promoting myself.
Yeah.
And it's because of him as well. So we pay homage to him, and we could never, be ungrateful and be like, blessings to daddy and all his fans and all of that, because passed on from lineage to lineage. But it's the utmost blessing, and like, I have no words to describe it, because before I started touring with him, we just know this man as daddy.
Yeah.
He sings, but just daddy.
Yeah.
And then when you get to go on the road with him and you see how people adore him, the way they look to him, it's like he's not just a man who has words and, words of encouragement to us that we live by on a daily basis, but he influences a lot of people, and that's like, wow.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like, welcome to the world of music. And I'll tell people it's my responsibility to carry on that same legacy. But like, I don't want people, because, it's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Coming off, that's my dad and what he stands for, what he represents, but just wanting others to accept me for me, knowing that I'm the seed of this man. And, I can't help but to emulate, like, I write other genres of music, all this ranchy stuff you hear about, but I can't see myself. It just feels weird, like I'm coming out of my own element.
Yeah. Definitely.
It feels abnormal, so that's coming from his teaching and all of that, and I just have to pass on the baton as I progress from lineage to lineage, my daughter, your daughter, our son, whatever it is, whomever they are,
Yeah.
So we have a road of positivity. So I'm grateful and honored to be the daughter of a king.
For real, definitely.
In his own right,
And is there a memorable moment that you will never forget when you're on tour that you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, there's so many. There's a lot of funny ones. And,
Come on, bust a joke,
I think
man.
the one that stood out, a few of them, there's two I'd like to share. I remember this man, like, we had a show. I don't remember exactly where it was.
Yeah.
Was it in Cincinnati in the U.S.? But he drove and he said, hey, it was not like we're on a tour and we wasn't going into his, you have Cincinnati, blah, blah, blah. You have neighboring communities, but we're not going nowhere near his side. We're just going across to go to Canada because our last stop was in Canada.
Yeah.
And he drove over, I think it was 400 miles or something he drove. That's a long drive.
Wow.
Just to come to the show, and he waited and came back to the hotel room. And, everybody, because after every show, we'd have like a session where everybody just hangs out, the band members, harmonizers, everybody, we just hang out and, we just have fun. Like, he says he's a family man, he is, with everybody, and we just chat and laugh and just, just reminisce and be blessed. And this man, he drove and he stayed after the show, and he says, hey, can I come back to the hotel with you guys? And my dad's like, yeah, because my dad's very easygoing, one of the chillest person ever. And when he came back, and we just sitting having tea, we love tea, and sitting down, and just drinking our tea and having tea. And he says, I have to share this story with you. And he sit, and he's like, he's talking to me, your father, he's not just a regular man, And it touched my heart when he says that. And he said, I lost everything. Like in that time when it happened 2 years ago, like my wife left me, she took the children, money, everything. I lost my home, I lost my job, everything. And he has nothing, nothing to go back to, nothing to rely on. And I think he was drinking. He said he was drinking. I drank, and all I was thinking about, like, he's just going to drive his car and run over some bridge in the city where he's from and just kill himself. That's what he wanted to do.
Wow.
And he said he heard, like, on the radio, they was just playing, and my dad's song came on the radio during that time. Like, he was on the verge, like maybe a minute away from the bridge to drive over that bridge. And Lift Up Your Head came on. And the part that stood out for him,
Wow.
that the line that stood out for him was, oh God, I want to remember the exact verse. Because if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain. It will be over and over again. And listening to the entire song, and he's like, wow, like, it's a song that he sang, but for everybody to listen to. But in that moment in time, it was speaking to him. He could attest to everything that the song was saying, and he had no choice but to just turn around and snap out of it and say, what am I doing? It's not the end of the world, but he felt within himself to drive that far just to come and share that story with my dad, and that forever lived on with me. And there's a lot more like that, that he's made such an impact
Wow.
on in people's life.
Wow, what a blessing. For real.
Yes, it is.
Wow. So, it's kind of touched me a little bit, for real. So, when we're talking about those stories, when you take those things away, how do you transfer that into your music?
How do I transfer that in my music? That's a tricky question, but it boils down to, hey, just me being me, telling the truth, like my dad said. You can't fabricate stories. You can't live a lie, and it doesn't matter how much you hide something. Some point in time it's gonna come out, and everybody's gonna be like, yo, he fake, she fake, you a liar. Like Rasta Imposter, he has a song about that, and he speak on that. Like, it's better for people to know you for who you truly are and accept you for you.
For real.
And he said, make sure in everything that you do, Aisha, and that's his advice for all his children, my brothers and my sister. And I had a problem with it growing up because, you go to daddy because everything is falling apart. This happened, and you cry to daddy, and he's like, hey, as long as your hands and your heart clean, just leave the rest up to John. He will do it. And I'm like, I'm tired of hearing the same story over and over and over. But then it took me 30. I think I finally make sense of it when I turned 33. And I'm like, wow, I understand what my daddy's saying. It doesn't matter how much you try to fix certain things. Nothing before its season. At the end of the day, you could only be you. Be true to who you are. And the Most High will do the rest. And that's it. And, that's how my music comes across. I could only tell you what I've seen. I could only tell you what I know about. I can't tell you about somebody else's story because I know nothing about it.
True. Definitely.
I'm going to tell you my truth. I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you what I see happen to my sister. I'm going to tell you what I see happen to my brother, my dad, my mom, myself. My circle, whatever I see going on in the world today, like my song that I'm about to release called Shine, that's my next upcoming project, and that's what I see going on in today's society through my own eyes. So I'm telling it the way I perceive that story,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to know a little something about the song Don't Watch My Way on the Tabernacle Rhythm. Tell us something about that tune. Why you laugh?
Oh, wow. That's a lot of Jesus. I don't even remember the word of that song, believe it or not. I am trying to find a DJ that would actually give me a copy of that song. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I can't even find the files. So that song came about when I just started music after recording Bad Boy, of course. And I think it came a little bit after Testify. How was it? Something of the sort, yeah. Because I recorded Testify a long, long time ago. But, being around my dad and traveling with him, I'd go on tour with him or shows with him during the summer break of school because, education is imperative. He stresses that to my mommy. And I'll go around, but, My dad's a Rasta man. We grew up in a Rastafarian community. You know, we have rules and regulation. You're not supposed to do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. But then at the same time, you want to be you.
Yeah.
And you swear you a real hot girl, like they say it in Jamaica. Me a hot girl. And you want to wear the pants and all. And daddy, he raises us to have a free mind, a free spirit. But, like the core values don't stray away from that, Aisha, because you know right from wrong. So I am known to be the rebel.
Okay.
In the family, because I love to color my hair, and him always look at me and say, boy, I tell you, boy, Aisha, I don't know if you do it, yo. Him say, I love you, I love you, but I don't know if you do it, no more. It's like, boy. And that is his word, boy. I don't want your sister them to follow behind you, Yeah. Like, I'm a goody two shoes in other senses,
Yeah.
Like core values, but like expressing myself. I love colors. I love my ripped jeans pants, and I love them things. And I remember going to the studio with him, and certain because the Rastas back in the days, they're not as flamboyant as they are today. So the fire quenched today, and that's what I tell people. I'm sorry, a lot of people don't like to hear when I say that, but the fire quench. Not a lot of them holding up that banner they once used to hold back in the days,
Yeah.
The morals, few of them still stand predominantly with the way they started out and stay true to the culture. So, and a lot of fire, lava, lightning, bona, what they call it, Jezebel, Rasta and whatnot. Even some of the females artists back in the days used to put a lot of fire on me too. Rasta empresses that I now see wearing pants too. And it's like, wow, but I'm still not dressing like how you're dressing today. I am still keeping it royal, but I'll put my pants on.
Yeah.
So that's where that song comes from. Don't watch my way, because at the end of the day, I believe that the Most High don't judge you based on your garment. He judges you based on your inside. So surrender your art and not your garment. But my dad would tell me that you take that thing too literal just to justify your movement, And I get where he's coming from as well. So that's where that song stems from. Don't watch my way, because it's like, yo, they're judging me, and at the same time, I believe I'm living more than you are, because my values to Rastafarianism and my belief system, my dressing might not emulate what it says, but I know my heart and my liberty is, if we should compare and contrast, not knocking anyone again, because who am I without sin to cast stone on people? You get where I'm coming from? But so that's where it stems from. Don't watch my way. Just let me be me, man.
Yeah.
Period.
I like that. And I read that you have worked with the late great Bobby Digital. Tell us something about that.
I worked with him. May the Most High rest his soul in peace. Like, I'd say like he's one of the most respectable, the most respectable producer I've ever worked with. Yeah, I'm sure you heard stories, in the music industry and how they are. And this man, he's like a cut above the rest, the only producer who made me cry.
Wow. I hope in a good way. In a good way.
In a good way.
Okay.
Because I'm hard-headed. And if I write a song and I said, bam, I'm singing it this way. And it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, I got it stuck. And he's like, no, he won't let you leave out the studio. And I love that about him.
Yeah.
And he won't let you leave the studio. Even Testify, I remember, because I recorded with him. And I'm like, well, no. And he's like, no. I worked on one line. I kid you not. From 9 o'clock in the night, and at 12 a.m., that's when I got it.
Wow.
And I've been in the studio since 6 o'clock in the evening. You hear me?
Wow.
He says, And when I started crying, I says, I'm tired. Baby, I love you. And he said, wow, I have to make you cry and have a headache. That's the note right there. That's the note right there. He said, you're going to hate me, but guess what? You're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Wow. And the funny thing is, we were working on my album, recorded 11 songs, and he died, and we never got to finish it. So now I'm in the process of Calibud's son is looking for all the files and trying to get that file together, because that album would have been a treat, I tell you.
Wow. I hope you can get it
was
together.
a mastermind, the rhythm choices that he picked out for me, and and everything was just, the topics we work on, it was just amazing, and I can't wait to get my hands on the file to pick up where we left off.
Yeah. And his memory will live on again.
Yes.
For real. And apart from your dad, who else influences you?
Garnet Silk, a lot of people don't know, but he was my godfather. May the Most High rest his soul in peace.
Wow.
I tell people, may God rest his soul in peace,
Yeah.
He was a sweetheart too. He influences my music a lot. Marcia Griffiths, Cynthia Slash, I grew up listening to her. Miss Millie Small, I did a cover of her song on My Boy Lollipop, for those who don't know. I love Indiana Irie, Jill Scott, Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill, Music So Child.
Wow, you're firing them.
Yeah, and my dad, of course. I love the 90s dancehall, not dancehall today, but if I had to choose, I go way back.
Definitely.
And yeah, so all the good stuff.
Wow.
All the good stuff. Yeah.
And I want you to tell the listeners some of the projects that you've been working on and what you would want them to go and listen to right now, one of your tunes.
Hey, I want you guys to go listen. Not God. I want you guys to go listen to my entire EP. For those who don't have my EP, please go listen to my EP. It's called Epiphany. On iTunes, on all online platforms, digital platforms, you'll find that there, Epiphany. You could go dig up some old song too from Isla Blender. Like, it's all there. ISHABLENDER Blender, like the appliance. We only blend juice and positivity. All of the niceness, no mix up,
Yeah.
But for now, and look out for all my new projects coming. I'm working on a song that should be released very soon called Shine, and another one around mid-March. You'll hear Two Face by me and Selma in Kenya, a female artist in Kenya. That's going to be a nice song too. So a lot of nice things coming up. And then Dream On from Rockers Agency in Europe. So we have a few projects coming on. I'm collaborating with a producer in Europe as well,
For real.
Working with Miss Karen. If you're listening, blessings to you, Mama. Thank you for everything, So a lot of good things. But now the song that I'm really focusing on is called I Wish. Because I lost my son last year, and I means a lot to me. So that's what I'm currently promoting, for mothers or, sisters and brothers or fathers on a whole who has lost a child. You could gravitate to that song and listen, friend. You just lose somebody on a whole and you just wish that you could turn back the hands of time, just a wishful thinking, and that song means a lot to me. So, but overall, all my music, I urge you guys to go listen to it. On the EP, there's something for everyone. Epiphany by Isla Blender. Go listen to it.
Yeah, it's a bad album, people. It's about EP, I should say. EP. And I just wanted to say my condolences, on the loss of your son. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, how can people, get in touch with you, link with you? How can they go about that?
Go find me on Instagram, at ISHA_Blender, again, BLENDER. So that's Aisha_Blender. Can't miss me. You can't miss me. You find my daddy, you find me too. And on Facebook, it's the same thing. Facebook.com/ISHA Blender. Find me there. Twitter, the same thing, Aisha Blender. Just type me up on Google, wherever you find me. Come on, chat with me. I'm very interactive. I talk to every one of my fans. You can hit me in my DM. I try to be one-on-one with everyone,
For real.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Come on. Follow, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Blow it up. Come on. Spread the word. Spread the message. Yeah.
Easy. You know what? Before we say goodbye for now, sis, I would really love you to sing a little something for the listeners out there. People are showing you some fire. So, of course, and of whatever tune you would like to sing to them.
Okay. So tonight we'll take that flight. It's the flight of our lives on our way to paradise. You must be heaven sent, especially for me. You have given the best of you, and I'll be giving the best of me.
Wow. You know what, sis? It's been a pleasure and an honor, speaking with you, getting to know you a little bit more. And I hope that we can keep on talking, keep on linking up. It's been a blessing.
Yes, Mama. Could you repeat that? Pardon me.
No worries. I was just saying it's been a blessing speaking with you. And I can hope that we can keep the link going.
Definitely, sister. And just thank you so much for bringing me on your platform. I really appreciate it, Blessings to you. Keep up the good work. Spread the message, spread the music, and thanks for everyone tuning in, listening far and wide. Share the word, spread the word, be positive. Love yourself. Stay strong. Yeah.
For real. And is there any final thoughts you want to say to the listeners out there before we do go?
In everything that you do, just put the Most High first in all that you do,
For real.
Put him first. Love your brother, your sister as you love yourself. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You want goodness, spread goodness. You want love, spread love, And in these trying times, don't be all about yourself. Be your brother's keepers and your sister's keeper. Each one teach one. Love each other as you love yourself, like I said before.
Yeah.
Lift up your head and hold it up high, like my daddy said. It doesn't matter what happened. Stay strong, push through. Before behind every dark cloud, there's always a silver lining. So just keep pushing, man. Trust the process and trust the Most High.
Definitely.
Everything will be blessed. Yeah.
Thank you, sis. It's been an honor, like I said, and I hope that we can keep the link. And people go and check out her EP. It's definitely something you don't want to miss, for real.
Yes, thank you so much, Kat. Blessings again, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. We'll speak soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, beloved.
Bless. Yes, people, please do go and check out Isla Blender. She's a definite artist you don't want to miss out on. Right now, I'm going to be playing a tune. It's called I Rise, okay? This is from her EP. Go and check it out, like she said. And as you can hear, she's a happy person. Go and check her out on Instagram, Facebook. Go and see what she's all about and show her some love. But right now, I Rise. Here we go.
I hope you can't live without me. Loving you is killing me. I still gone to you. You don't give me no ratings. All you do is put me down like me a bad scrapings. I try to be your sunshine in your cloudy sky. All you do is bring me down, no support. Where you feel like me say you are gonna live to regret this. Have a queen, all you do is distress me. Disown me, you tell I you regret this. Coward beseech me. So, tell me why I loved you then, now I love me. Now it's time to elevate and shine. Move on and love myself.